What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Saturday night's late night agenda, or as it's going to be known from here on out, Luis Diaz Watch, Luis Diaz Information Centre, Luis Diaz Appreciation Society, whatever it is. We'll just talk about Luis Diaz for an hour or so. I hope that you're all well, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate you giving up your time to be here. I promise you I wasn't a minute and a half late today. I promise you I wasn't. What happened was I had to crop the sub count because the terms and conditions thing popped up. You don't need to worry about it. But I promise you, I tried my best. I tried my best to be on time. I really did. Lovely to see you all in. I hope that you're well. And loads for us to get through tonight. Let me just get that microphone into a decent area there. How are we? I mean, look, loads to go through. I'll give you as much updates and information as I can, of course, around the Luis Diaz thing. Thank you to everyone that joined us yesterday, by the way, for the watch along at the Colombia-Peru game over on Twitch. Wasn't a great game. Wasn't a great game for Colombia or Luis Diaz, but we got a chance to see him. He didn't pick up a yellow, so he is going to be part of the game in Argentina. Look, I'll go through everything. I'll go through everything for you, as I always do. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, of course. As you know by now, Spitch have been looking after us for the past while. Spitch is a fantasy manager game that allows you to compete against other managers for your chance to be able to, chance to win a share, I should say, of up to £70,000 each week on the prize pool. There are paid pitches, there are free pitches, completely up to you which ones you want to go with. Spitch has leagues like the Bundesliga, the Premier League, and of course the Champions League available to you. You'll score points based on the usual stuff: shots, assists, goals, tackles, all that kind of thing. You do need to be 18 years or over. Have your ID ready when you're signing up because it just makes the process simpler, and you have to be a resident of the UK. The link to download Spitch is in the description below. And let us know how you get on with it, because genuinely I want to hear of people making a few quid. So let me know if you win money, when you win money, how much you win. And again, thank you to our friends at Spitch. Right. Actually, you know what? That's my bad. I'm going to have to just do this again because I did the Spitch ad read, but I didn't put up the shots. So we'll leave them playing there in the background for a second, just so you can get a feel of the app and stuff, and then we'll get back to it. I have loads of notes tonight, folks. Loads of them. I've been spending the day making sure that I was going around getting all the notes and stuff like this. All the information I can for you to just give you as much as I can on this whole transfer thing. So, right, let's, as you can see, more of the Spitch stuff there. So, right, thank you, the Spitch. Right, where do I start? Right, let's go back to the very start on this. Now, as I said, I've got a whole heap of notes here to start off with, but just again to give you a feel about why Liverpool went for Luis Diaz. And I know a lot of people are saying, is it official and all this stuff? Don't worry. I know we've been burned before with Nabil Fekir, with Loic Remy. This one's going to get done. The medical's going to be split over 2 days. Part of it took place already today. Part of it will be taking place tomorrow. But just give you a little bit of an insight into it and what Liverpool do for transfers and how deep they go. Here's a little excerpt from, I think it's the Athletics article. It says, through an array of scouting reports and character references, they built up an extensive analysis of his technical and tactical ability, as well as his strong mentality. That strong mentality thing, that's something that, to me, from the very limited amount I've seen of Luis Diaz, shines through when you see this guy on the pitch. Like Salah and Mane, he scored at the rate of a centre-forward despite operating out wide, and there's a belief that he's a perfect fit for Liverpool style-wise. Having only turned 25 2 weeks ago, Diaz is also in keeping with the club's strategy of investing in players with a high ceiling who are yet to enter their peak years. That doesn't surprise me when I read it, but I was still very happy to read it because it just lets us know that the club don't do things in half measures. We don't go and buy somebody who's had a good tournament. As we've said to you many, many, many times, Liverpool and their transfers, they go at them for the long haul. They track these guys for many, many time, or for a lot, for a long time. More on this one. No, actually, an interesting side note on this. Brighton, yes, that Brighton, were alerted to the possibility of being able to sign Luis Diaz back in 2017 for as little as, are you ready for this? 3 million quid. The Premier League clubs had close ties with the Belgian outfit Antwerp, which would have helped them find a home for him while they wanted to obtain a work permit. However, a deal failed to materialise. Again, shout out to The Athletic, by the way, whose reporting on this has been magnificent, giving everybody lots of information on him. There was one line, though, that struck me from all of this. And it just gives us a bit of a feel about how important Julian Ward is going to be. So look, I assume everybody knows who Julian Ward is. If you don't, let me just take a second to fill you in. Julian Ward is the gentleman who is going to be stepping up to fill the very big shoes that are going to be departed by Michael Edwards when he moves on at the end of the season, Liverpool's head of transfers, and a lot of other stuff as well. But on Julian Ward was the one who conducted this deal. And the reasons why become apparent, apart from the fact it's going to be his job, but it become apparent when I fill you in on this little bit of information here. So Julian Ward has a strong network of contacts in Portugal, having previously worked for their national team as head of analysis and technical scouting, before later becoming Liverpool's scouting manager for Spain and Portugal. So look, as again, he would have extensive knowledge of it. Of course, Pep Linders from his time at Porto and in Portugal as well would have had a depth of knowledge and contacts that he could touch base with. So, yeah, happy days. Happy days. Fee, like we said yesterday, £37.5 million with £12.5 million in add-ons. If you want to put that into euros, I think it's €45 million and €15 million. From our understanding, and I think most of you guys have seen this as well, the fee will be £12.5 million paid up front now, £12.5 million in 2023 and £12.5 million in 2024, along with, of course, those add-ons that, you know, will have to have specific things to be achieved. The belief is that most of them are achievable. I think £7.5 million of them are just appearance-based and things, and the other £5 million probably based on things like silverware and stuff like that. So the next thing that everybody's going to want to know, of course, is how much Liverpool are going to be paying this gentleman. And again, there are reports coming out today from various outlets on that. I'm just trying to pull up all the right information. So what I have right now is that the contract for Luis Diaz, when he signs it, will be until 2027, meaning it'll be a 5.5-year contract he'll sign with the club. And contrary to reports yesterday that suggested that he was going to earn just £53,000 a week, the latest belief is that he's actually going to be on around £90,000 a week. Again, not that this should really matter to you, me, and other fans, but it just gives us a general flavour of what type of money he'll be on. In and around 90 grand a week. Again, I'll let you judge for yourself if you think that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, it'll be a 5.5-year contract, and it'll be reportedly wages of about 90 a week. And then the last piece of information that we were wondering about yesterday, of course, was what number will Luis Diaz wear? A lot of speculation yesterday amongst us about number 19. It seems that it'll be number 23. That probably rings a bell for you for a lot of reasons. Jamie Carragher, probably the most famous one. Then you look at Emre Can, but also I'm old enough to remember Robbie Fowler wearing the number 23 at one point as well. So that will be his number by the looks of it, 23, which is an important number at Liverpool Football Club. Any news on the front three contracts? Yes and no. There were a few little bits doing the rounds with regards to a few things. And look, again, another bit of information today regarding who may stay and who may go. This could give us a bit of a clue. It says Liverpool are willing to offload Takumi Minamino, Origi and Nat Phillips in this window to help offset Luis Diaz. So again, that was backed up, by the way, with James Pearce of The Athletic, who also said that Liverpool are willing to listen to offers for Origi and Nat. Excuse me, I don't want to put James on for the Origi one. For the Takumi Minamino, certainly. So it looks like the plan is to get rid of Takumi Minamino, and Origi's contract is going to run down to an end. And I think it's a perfect fit. We said this last night when we were speaking about it. In an ideal world, we'd renew Mane, renew Firmino, renew Salah, and then have Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota with them. And that's a five that we can hang our hat on. Now, I get that it's going to be difficult because Mane, Salah, Firmino, all in the last 16, 17 months of the contract right now. And will any of their noses be put out of joint with Luis Diaz signing? It looks like it's going to be on Sadio Mane's side. It's looking like he's going to be there to challenge Sadio on the left. One of the great quotes I read is just think of him like another kind of Arjen Robben who cuts in from the left side to his right foot and bangs it in top corner. Obviously Robben the opposite side, but it's a Robben-esque move is what they're trying to say. So look, on this one, I know a lot of people are rightly worried right now, and I'm going to dip into the chat as well because I'm well aware I've been waffling for a while, but I'm going to dip into the chat. But a lot of people concerned about Mohamed Salah's contract situation, and a lot of people, once bitten twice shy, are kind of feeling, well, this is great. No one's arguing about Luis Diaz and the signing and the ambition. Everybody's on board with that one. But lingering at the back of all of our minds right now is, Are we going to finance this in future deals by having to sacrifice Mohamed Salah? So all of us just waiting to hear the news that that isn't the case and that Liverpool are going to negotiate and re-sign up Mohamed Salah, because this would be one of these take the shine and gloss off it straight away scenarios. If we hear that Liverpool are looking to engineer a way to push Mohamed Salah out, that would just not do. It just wouldn't. So that's my take on it. But then again, I've read some people today in various platforms in the comment sections, because I find that's where I try to get the gist of how a fan base is feeling. And I'm very surprised to see the amount of people who would be happy to move Mo on and speak about greed and speak about holding the club to ransom and speak about all this. I don't get it. I don't get it. For me, Mohamed Salah is perfectly within his rights to look for a wage between 300 and 400 grand a week. Perfectly within his rights. He's earned it. He is good enough for it. He can get it elsewhere, and he is an absolute superstar. So I'm hoping that it gets done, and that by the end of this month, or very soon after, because obviously Mo is away right now, playing tomorrow in the AFCON, and the window closes on Monday. So I'm hoping very soon after the window shuts, we will have Luis Diaz obviously signed up. That'll be announced. If I was a bet man, I would probably bet it'll be announced Monday, but we'll probably have some more confirmation tomorrow after the second part of the medical. But it just can't get to a point where Salah moves on. That's just nonsense if this is how it's going to be played out. This may be completely incorrect, said John Francis, but I think this lad could be developed into another false nine. Both feet, first touch, one touch, passing and flair. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing to say, John. Thank you for the super chat, mate, because we see with a lot of our players, mate, versatility is something that Klopp appreciates in them. So Jota, as an example, can play across the front three. Mo can play across the front three. Mane can play across the front three. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all, John, if that was the case with this gentleman. Also, a little bit of great news for everybody today, and I do like to be the bearer of good news where possible, for those that haven't seen it. Harvey Elliott today stepped up his return to first-team action by playing in a behind-closed-doors under-23 match against Wrexham. He successfully completed an hour in the game, scoring one and assisting one. So, happy days there for Harvey Elliott, getting some minutes on the fucking pitch. We love it. We love that. So, yes, Harvey's on his way back as well, and hopefully we'll start to see Harvey reintroduced to matchday squads and getting some minutes. Yeah. And look, he scored as well. I mean, it's just perfect. We love Harvey Elliott. So, that's brilliant news. I'm good, thank you, Salams. I'm good, and everybody else asking. Right, let me hand it over to the chat for a little bit now and see if I can answer any questions. Of course, I will be my usual self, honest. If I can't answer it, I'm not going to lie to you. So anything you guys want to throw in, lash it into the chat right now. I'm just scrambling through my notes here really quickly just to see if there's anything I missed out on. Because, you know me, I do waffle a bit and I miss out on a lot of stuff. So I'm just scrambling back through my notes. What have we got? Harvey expected to be in the FA Cup game. Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? Be great to see him get some minutes in that game. And the fact he got through an hour today as well, like, that is no mean feat. Usually you would expect somebody coming back like that, half an hour, 20 minutes, then half an hour, then to up it. But to go back in and play 60 minutes. Now, of course, he'll be closely monitored now to see if there's any reaction from his ankle, to see if there's any warning signs or anything. But on the face of it, absolutely amazing. Killian wants to know about the kid from Fulham. So that's Fabio Carvalho. So all we can take is this at face value from Fulham. So Fulham's manager, Marco Silva, came out and said that Fabio Carvalho will not leave the club in this window. So, you know, that's Fulham's perspective on it, and that could well be the case. Now, what Marco Silva has said could absolutely lend itself to a situation where somebody either signs him for the summer or somebody comes in and signs him now. Obviously, if you were to sign him from the summer, you'd have to be outside of the English setup. But if you were to sign him now, you could just loan him back. So I still don't think it necessarily rules out somebody coming in for Fabio Carvalho. I just don't know if we're going to continue to push ahead with that, because I did say to you yesterday, somebody had mentioned that Porto could look at Fabio Carvalho as a potential replacement for Diaz. So, you know, keep an eye on it, and I hope we don't lose out on the lad, because I'd like to bring him in. 19 years of age, great talent. Am I from Cork? No, mate. I'm from the real capital, buddy. The real capital. Firmino most likely to go, needs minutes to go to the World Cup, said Rem. I don't know about that, mate. I mean, yeah, look, somebody will most likely go. I hear you, but who is a real guessing game? I mean, it seems like, genuinely, from what I've been reading today, it still looks like Mane is the most likely. If one is to go from the crowd we have now, Mane looks the most likely from everything that I'm reading today. And I'm talking about journalists and stuff. So yeah, people asking about Thiago's fitness. Honestly, the only thing I know about Thiago is that he stepped up his training. He posted videos of himself in the gym or images from the gym. That's all I know. I don't want to say to you guys that he'll be ready or he won't. I honestly don't know. Tchouaméni news. There was a bit on Tchouaméni actually today. To say that he is certainly somebody Liverpool are looking at. He's somebody Chelsea are looking at. I think PSG are looking at him. But again, anything on Tchouaméni would be for the summer. And look, we will bring in a midfielder in the summer. I don't think anybody is doubting that. It's just a matter of who will it be. Would it be Tchouaméni? Is Jude Bellingham the plan? Or, would we bring in a stopgap like a Tielemans or something too? Because we still, in my mind, we still need to replace Gini Wijnaldum's minutes. Craig, Salah, Jota, Diaz, sell one, bench one, play one. No, I don't play your games, mate. They're all staying. That's my answer. They're all staying. Did I watch the Burkina Faso versus Tunisia game? No, mate, I didn't. In all honesty, I try and limit my exposure to the AFCON to Liverpool players' games. If so, what are your thoughts on Edmund Tapsoba? 6'4", played for Bayer Leverkusen, 22 years, tidy defending. Again, Matt, I can't give you better information, but I've watched it. I haven't watched it at all. It was 0-0 last I checked in the game. I'd seen the Cameroon won 2-0 earlier on to book their place in the semi-finals. Congratulations to them. The Dubs getting hammered. I don't care. In all honesty, Glenn. Don't care. Honestly, right now, mate, I am in full-on Liverpool happy, Luis Diaz transfer semi-happiness. So everything else right now, any negativity is just getting blocked out. Because we need this. We deserve this. We've been waiting for this. Tunisia lost 1-0. Wow. What are you guys feeling, by the way? So it's very easy for me or Paddy or Chris to sit up here and tell you guys what our view is on the attacking situation. I'd like to know how you guys feel about it. So do you think we're going to see a Mane or a Firmino move on? Or do you think that the plan will be to maybe let Divock go, try and get some money for Kimi Minamino, and go with the 5? Because the more I think about the option of the 5, I mean, would there be a better 5 in world football in attack? I honestly don't know. Rami Abbas posted a picture of Mo Salah laughing, sitting on a table on his Instagram. A lot of people think it means Salah signed the contract. What do I think? I would just be speculating, mate, like everybody else. I believe Salah will sign the contract. And as I was saying to you guys yesterday, I think that rather than looking at Luis Diaz as somebody who's coming in to replace Salah, I think this will be an indication to Mo of the seriousness of the club's ambition to continue wanting to try and win stuff, push on, and build a second-grade Klopp team. So, for me, I just can't figure out a way that he goes. I just can't. Would I take Lamptey as a backup to Trent? I would, but Tariq Lamptey wouldn't. Why would he? He's too good to be a backup, Tariq Lamptey. Let's be fair about it. He left Chelsea to go to Brighton because his first team opportunities were going to be obviously limited with the player Chelsea were bringing through there with Reece James and that. So Lamptey moved on to get more football. So I don't think we'll see Tariq Lamptey being willing to sit on a bench anywhere. I think it's fair. He's too good to sit on a bench. If we can get rid of Taki, I'd be happy if Divock stayed or go to Keegan. I think the reason Divock's most likely to go is purely down to his contract, rather than anyone at the club just wanting to hound him out. I mean, technically his contract is up in the summer, but as I said to you guys before, there is an option for Liverpool to extend it by a year if he plays a certain amount of Premier League games, which it doesn't look like he's going to be on target to hit. What's the story on Dybala? Any news? I don't know if the Dybala thing is... So, like, just to give perspective, on the face of it, I would say no. But to give perspective, we know Dybala is available on a free, but there's no such thing as a free. There's going to be agent fees, there's going to be a signing-on bonus, and there's going to be a big wage. But to kind of play devil's advocate on that one, the club will amortise a player's value and wages over the course of his contract at the club. So on the face of it, if you bring in somebody like Dybala, give them a signing-on bonus with the agents free, the value of him over the course of the 4 or 5 years of the club would still probably make it out to be a relatively value signing. Do I think we will sign Dybala? No. The injury record's too much, and he's 27, 28 years of age. Again, one of the first things I read out on the stream today was that Liverpool's policy has been looking to bring in young, hungry people, 23, 24, 25 years of age that haven't hit their peak yet. Dybala is technically inside his peak years now. So I don't think it'll happen, but somebody will sign Dybala. Jude Bellingham, look, I can only say this so many times until people start ignoring me or believing me. I've said it for a long time. I'll never get any credit for it when it happens. But Jude Bellingham will be a Liverpool player. I don't know. I know you're just thinking, right, what does this idiot know? And I get you. But all I can tell you is what I've been told and what I have read up on. And look, I'm not going to push it. I'll leave it to you guys whether you believe or don't believe. And I'll be honest and say I still don't know how we afford it. I still don't know how we square off that. But the plan is to put some investment into the squad. So, for me, a Jared Bowen would be a lovely addition now as well. If we were to move on Mane, and the articles that I've read up on today, and the journalists that I've messaged, the feeling is that is the most likely situation, that Mane moves on. And that Bowen, somebody like that, has been looked at as a potential replacement. The two names that were mentioned in a few things today were Harvey Barnes and Jared Bowen. Names that I've been telling you guys we've been interested in. Go back 18 months and I was telling you we were monitoring Harvey Barnes. I still think Bowen will be far more likely. But let's wait and see. The honest answer is, as right now, I don't know. I haven't got a clue, but I will be very happy with Jared Bowen. Max, thank you for the super chat. That's what provoked me to talk about Dybala and Jude, mate. So thank you, Max, for the super chat. What else is there? I'm from Bosnia and I'm a fan of, I don't know how to pronounce that one, mate. And we're 7 million in debt. Jacko played for us. Okay, I'm welcome in, mate, but I don't know where to go with that comment. Sorry. Clive's Exploring Adventure said, yes, Craig, I agree. Jude will be in red of Liverpool hopefully this summer. Yeah, see, I don't know when. I'm a bit nervy to say it'll be next summer. But what I've said consistently, if you watch back, is when he leaves Dortmund, he will be a Liverpool player. I'm not ready yet to say it's going to be next summer, because that I feel I'd be lying and guessing. Porto still owes 10 million for Grujic. Do you think that comes off the Diaz fee, or do you think LFC are going to waiver that? Honestly, Brian, I think the answer to that question comes from whichever way is best for the accountants. And I do not know the answer to that, buddy. I'm far from an accountant. So ultimately, I think whatever way it works out best for the clubs, that it'll go on the balance sheet or it'll go on the profit and loss that way. I don't know, mate. But you're right. We are still owed money for Grujic. Do I think Milner will leave in the summer? I do, yes. I do. And I think it's the right time. And look, Jesus, there's not enough positives I can say about James Milner. As a man, as a footballer, as somebody who installed a winning philosophy in our dressing room. Because, whatever we think about James Milner this season and the bit part role, Jimmy Milner was brought in for a reason. And that was because the man had won everything there was to win in English football. And the only thing he hadn't won was a Champions League medal. So he had that drive. You look back to the Barcelona game. To me, that was prime James Milner era. Came on to see out the game and seen it out magnificently well. Magnificently well. So I will always look back on Jimmy Milner's time at Liverpool with nothing but the height of respect for the man. And admiration that we brought him in, because he's a special fella, James Milner. He really is. But I do think it's time for him to move on this summer. But I will look back. I put him up there. Like Gary McAllister was my favourite free transfer at Liverpool before Milner. Came in at a really similar type of impact, part of that treble winning team in 2001. You speak to Steven Gerrard. You see now even Gerrard brings Gary McAllister on through as part of his coaching team. He was special, but Jimmy Milner, just wow, what a man. Hopefully, I have this mad dream where someday we have a coaching staff that has Lucas Leiva on it, that has Jimmy Milner on it, and maybe even we see Xavi Alonso coming across. Let's say Gerrard's managing the Liverpool team if Klopp leaves. Then you have Xavi Alonso maybe with the reserves, and then eventually coming up, and you never know. You know, he's doing Real Sociedad's B team at the minute, I think, Xavi, so there you go. I mean, look, it's just happy days right now, isn't it? It's from that rant the other day and how I felt after it to where we are now, and I'm not linking the two in any way, I'm just trying to show the range of emotions that we all go through. It's brilliant. And look, can you imagine what hearing about a Mohamed Salah contract extension would do for morale right throughout the club, the fan base? And one more thing I would say as well about Luis Diaz is he will bring, and I'm not saying this is the reason we signed him because his football is the reason we signed him, but we will see a whole new load of South America, Colombia, Liverpool fans come in and welcome more fan base from around the world, of course. The more Reds, the merrier. Stalker FC, Pikachu Arsenal, what a name that is. Said as much as it pains me to say, if we replace Bobby with Nkunku and get a midfielder like Tuchemeni or Basuma, we can aim for a treble next season. Yeah, I'm fully on board with the Basuma type signing as well, mate. Again, I won't lie, I haven't seen a whole lot of Tuchemeni, but I've seen him linked to a lot of top clubs. So, you know, as much as I haven't watched them, seems like everybody else has. Matip is a world class of a free signing. Yes, Kev. Oh, my friend Kev Wright. By the way, Kev Wright therein, if you ever want to go and cheer yourself up, if you're feeling a bit down or you're feeling a bit lonely or bored, get yourself over to Kev Wright's YouTube channel for a sing along for some of the great Liverpool songs. Kev is a top lad and makes everybody smile. So love, Kev, lots of love to you, mate, and hope to drop in another live stream soon. Keeper Iggy. It would mean giving Divock another contract, though. That's the thing. So Divock could have left us for free previously, but signed a contract extension with Liverpool. But I just don't think it's time to give him another one. I was gonna say he was looked at by Fiorentina, but they've actually gone out and brought somebody in to replace Vlahovic. But look, Origi will find a club. What happened to James Redmond? I'm not answering that again. Fuck off is the answer. Either go back and watch the old streams or find out elsewhere, but I'm not going back over all of this, what happened. I'm here, I'm king, I'm important, look at me, yay me. No, I'm only joking, but no, I'm not going back over it. But yeah, I'm here. That should be enough for you. If that's not enough for you, then go watch James Redmond TV. And I mean that sincerely. And James was great. Love James. Go watch James Redmond TV if you don't like what we're doing. I mean, I don't mean that to be rude, but it's not my job to fill you in on other people's lives. And I can't do that. Conlon versus Wood prediction. I'm always going to back Michael Conlon, haven't I? Always going to back Michael Conlon. Hope it's in Belfast, though. I know they're talking about Belfast, Nottingham, I think. Or Ellen Road, I think I heard Eddie Hearn saying. But yeah, if it was in Belfast, I'd go up to it in all honesty. Oh no, it is actually in Nottingham, isn't it? My wife said this to me already. It's in Nottingham, isn't it? That was announced for Nottingham, sorry. Luis Diaz will help us with the Carabao Cup. Yeah, he'll help us with everything, mate. Will be Salman Amino. Again, just basing off the articles that are doing the rounds today, yes, most likely. Another bit of information, by the way, on this medical. So Jim Moxon, who's Liverpool's club doctor, and David Woodfine, the director of loan management, have apparently travelled out to Argentina, and they've done the first part of the medical. Second part of the medical due to take place tomorrow, as well as scheduled training for Luis Diaz with the Colombian national team. So yeah, so there's plenty of stuff happening at the minute. I would expect more information tomorrow evening. and maybe an announcement on Monday. Monday, of course, being transfer deadline day, so we will have extended content on Anfield Agenda that day, all across YouTube, by the way. So, don't be worrying about having to go over to Twitch for that one. On Monday, it'll be, we'll have loads of shows coming out Monday, straight through from probably 5, 6 in the evening onwards. Any news on Doku? No. How are we on Taki? I mean, can we put a poll in? I don't know if Connor's in the live chat. Can I get a poll sorted out here? Can we put in a poll, Connor, if you're there? If you're not, can I put it in there? 1 second. 1 second. I'm trying to figure out if I can sort out a poll. Oh, there we go. I can put in a poll. There we go. Right. I'm going to stick a poll into the live chat on Minamino. 1 sec. Right, there you go. A poll got into the chat there now about Minamino. What do we do? Keep or sell? Simple as. I'm in. Well, I don't want to. Well, look, I'm in the sell camp. I just don't think he's good enough. I don't, and it hurts me to say that. I don't like saying somebody isn't good enough for Liverpool, but right now, from what I've seen, I've yet to be convinced that even though he's here 2 years now, he will come good. I think he's a good enough player, by the way, to go play in Germany, in Spain, in France, in Portugal. I just think the Premier League might be a little bit too physical. Probably the right word I'm looking for. Physical. How accurate is this information? You're going to have to be a bit more specific than that, Ishan. Everything that I've told you, mate, as far as I'm concerned, you can take it to the bank. But, up to you, as always. You're right to ask questions, by the way. You should never accept anything I say as gospel. You're right to question everything. You're waffling. Okay. Fuck off, then. Elite, you're a prick, by the way. Can I just say that straight out? You offer nothing to our community other than snarky comments, a shit profile picture, and a shit name. So I will continue to waffle, mate, because that's what I do, and that's what people enjoy, and that's why people come in, and that's why I'm a bit different. I interact with people. You, my friend, can fuck off. Elite. Nothing elite about you, mate. Nothing. Nothing elite about you. Elite. Oh, I'm elite. Look at me. I'm elite. Look, I'm elite. What, mate? What? Elite what? Ella, how are you, my friend? Said Craig Diaz followed Liverpool players on Instagram. That's a great sign anyway, isn't it, Ella? That is a great sign, excuse me. You are waffling. I mean, I've done this for 4 years now, and look, I used to do 3.5 hour streams. I think this is pared back, Craig, doing an hour. But yes, I waffle. Of course I waffle. What do you want me to do? Sit here and read from a script and go, his XG is 1.4. His pressing... Fuck off, mate. That's bollocks. I'm here to... Think of me as Liverpool's hype man, even though they don't like me. Hey Craig, how's it going? We all love you. Thank you, Josh. I was only saying to my wife last night, I think I've turned a corner, because I think people are starting to see that I amn't actually the clip merchant that you see put out there on social media. And you guys have been so helpful to me, so thank you. I mean, my self-esteem is going up, because of you guys and the kindness that you've shown. So thank you. There was something else there I wanted to... Check Kevin Palmer's Twitter. I don't have Twitter anymore, mate. I got rid of it. I know who Kevin Palmer is. I know he's a journalist, an Irish journalist, and he's quite good on Southampton stuff, and he usually gets a bit of stuff on Liverpool as well. But I don't have Twitter, so please feel free to let me know what he said. And thank you, by the way, Josh Brayshaw, for that super chat, mate. You're a legend. Who do I think Mbappe and Haaland will go to? Mbappe looks primed to go to Real Madrid, but I think, and I say I think, this isn't kind of out there, it looks as though Mauricio Pochettino will probably end up at Manchester United at the end of the season. And then it looks like Zinedine Zidane is going to come in and become the PSG manager. So if you're trying to convince Mbappe to stay in Paris, bringing in his idol, the man that he's openly said he wanted to play for at Real Madrid and who he looks up to, is probably the last thing you can do to try and convince him to stay. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens with Mbappe there. Haaland, I thought he was going to go to Madrid. But somebody said to me yesterday, it was in our chat, somebody said to me that they don't think if Mbappe goes there, Haaland will go there. So all I can say is I don't want Haaland in the Premier League outside of Liverpool, because you know why. You don't need me to tell you, because he's fucking good. Do I know which video explains what happened to James? No, I don't, because I've gone over it in... To say I've done it, spoke about it 10 times, I don't think is an exaggeration. The long and short of James is he wants to concentrate on his own content. But I did see then a post on Twitter that said he's staying away from content for a little bit. I know that he has a job at the minute, but that's all the private information I'm going to give out about somebody, because it's not my place to speak about James's life. That's James's life. It should be kept private. I'm in a hospital bed, but still watching you. Kieran, look, you know I do this once in a while, but a friend Kieran's in hospital, and look, I know what it's like to be in hospital, mate. But I don't know what it's like to be in there during a pandemic and visiting limited and stuff. So can we fill up the chat with love hearts for Kieran? I thank you, mate, and I hope that it's not too serious, and I hope that you get better soon. But yeah, can we get the love hearts going in the chat for Kieran? Adib, thank you, mate. Appreciate it. People saying Kevin Palmer Twitter. I know, I just don't have Twitter. So, and I refuse to put it back on anything. So, just let me know in the chat what he said. One of our mods may be highlighted so I can see it. And look, a couple of things, by the way. If you want to become a member on I'm for the Agenda FC and get the access to our Discord group, which is for members only, you get all the emojis and stuff as well that are designed for the channel. You help out the channel, of course, as well. It is $4.99 a month. Link is at the top of the live chat and in the description as well. Right, let me just end this poll, because I feel like we've been doing this long enough, and we see what the results are. Kevin's tweet is in Discord. I can't... You're going to hate me, Mark, but I use my phone as a webcam, so I haven't even got Discord open. Craig, you're the best content creator on YouTube. I don't think I am, but I'm very grateful that you like it, mate. So look, 71% of you guys have voted that we should sell Minamino. And I think that's the right decision, in all honesty. And again, thank you to everyone putting the love hearts in. What have we got? Walter said, Craig, just a quick reminder that we put 5 past Man United at their own ground, by the way. Keep Minamino till the summer. Walter, I have fact-checked your statement, and I can indeed confirm that we did bitch slap Manchester United, mate, at their own gaff. 5, as you say, is factually correct, mate. They thought they had one back, but VAR say, no, Cristiano, no. And it was 5-0, mate. You're very right. And I cannot argue with facts. Will I ever do a setup tour? Setup is a very extravagant word, mate. It's basically me sitting in front of a green screen in my living room. But I think there's a post on our Instagram that shows the basic setup that basically I have here. So it is on Instagram. But yeah, sure, we can definitely do that again. What's the one rule in football that you would change? Oh, that's a great question. Let's put this to the chat as well. Great question, my man. What's the one rule? Will I keep going, by the way? I've done 45 minutes. Will I keep going and keep answering questions? And let me know in the chat. What's the one rule in football that I'd change? Oh, okay. Penalties. Because I don't feel that just because something happens inside an 18-yard box, it necessarily should convert to somebody having a goal-scoring opportunity from 12 yards. So I don't know how you figure this out, but how many times have we seen a player going away from goal on the 90-degree angle at the edge of an 18-yard box, or an accidental handball on the edge of the 18-yard box, nowhere near goal, in a situation where 99.9% they weren't going to score, but that results in a penalty being given. That is pretty much what, an 80% chance of a goal. So yeah, that does my head in. What else what else annoys me about football? What other rules would I like to see rid of? Oh, I'd be all for stopping the clock every time, stopping the actual clock every time that there's a break in play for a foul or stuff like that, or arguing with a referee, because I don't feel like we get the right amount of added time in a game. So I'd be all for stopping the clock and restarting it every time. Then we'll know exactly where we are, and we know exactly what the time is. Some people saying 5 subs instead of 3. I have to be entirely honest with you. The reason I hated the 5 subs thing more than anything else is, as somebody who bets on goal scorers and stuff, there's more chance of them be taken off in a game. So the 5 subs, I understood why they came in, but from a betting perspective, I always preferred the 3. Toes being offside, people are saying as well. Yeah, the offside one is a really interesting one, because I don't know how we get to a situation where we're all happy with what the offside rule is. Oh, and another one I'd like to see is the referee's mic being used openly in a game. So, you know, like in the NFL, referee comes up, or in rugby, referee explains over a microphone. I think that, and the being able to hear the audio between the VAR room and the referees, I think those things I'd like to say. Kevin Palmer basically said medical done. Sweet. Second part of it though, tomorrow as far as I'm aware. But look, I'm not going to argue if the medical gets done sooner. Fucking happy days. Yellow card for taking your shirt off. Great shout that as well. Great shout. Yeah, I mean, how soul destroying is it when you see a player score a goal and take his shirt off to reveal get well soon to a teammate or a family member, or something about a fan, perhaps a young fan who's ill or something like that? Yeah, it's a bit pedantic, isn't it? It's a bit pedantic to give bookings. I understand why it was brought in, to stop people whipping up the t-shirts to show sponsors or, you know, advertise. I get that, but sometimes you feel like you're just taking emotion out of a game. Fabrizio is not the man to watch for transfers around Liverpool, Eamon. I promise you he is. Look, Fabrizio Romano's class, but he's more suited to the likes of United or other clubs. He's not really as active on Liverpool, so I would have other people that I would certainly look to. Stop the clock for fake injuries. That's another good shout. NFL replay is about 15 years ahead of VAR. It is. And as somebody who watches a lot of NFL now, and is certainly looking forward to the 2 games tomorrow, yeah, the clock being stopped though is probably the one I'd go with, because we then know what's being played and there's no fiddling about with this. We should have had more stoppage time or not. So just to clarify, because clock being stopped needs a finish point as well. So as soon as it hits 90 minutes, next time the ball goes out of play, like in rugby, that's it. It's over. Would you sign Zakaria? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. It looks like Juventus are going to sign Zakaria from what I was reading today. So we know that they want €7 million to sign him in this month from Borussia Mönchengladbach. But Juventus could sign him on a pre-contract. So could an English club, by the way. Carry on for fake injuries, that's why they want to stop play. Yeah, see, another thing that... I feel like Peter Griffin here. Another thing that grinds my gears. Yeah, this going down injured now and holding the face because they want to convince the referee it's a head injury if it's their shoulder or anything like that. So as much as I absolutely support making sure that the play stop for head injuries, some of this shit is getting ridiculous. The players trying to con referees to stop a game. So yes, that's another good show. But you've got to be careful in that, because, you know, we're only starting to learn more about the impact of head injuries in sport. And it is something that I've every respect for the work that's been done. And look, you've seen how upset I was that Sadio Mane was allowed to play on for Senegal the other day. Even though he scored a goal, he wasn't right and he went off afterwards. So finding that balance, I suppose, between what's codology and what's sincere. Yeah, how you do that, I don't know. I don't agree with referees being interviewed, by the way. I don't think that's fair. I mean, I as much as I don't like a lot of referees, I completely understand that they're in a very, very, very pressurized situation. And football is always going to be subjective to a certain degree. No matter what we think as fans, it's always going to be open to interpretation. So I know referees have a hard job. I will acknowledge that referees have a hard job, and I don't think interviewing them is the answer. Do I like Chinese food? God, yeah, of course I do. Microphones on the ref. Yeah, as Glenn Boylan said, I'd fully be on board with that one. Kick-ins instead of throw-ins. Oh, God, no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Not for me, no. Bring back away goals, said Sean Burke. We'll go for Tillman's over Bellingham, I bet, said Ben Holmes. Look, Ben, what I would say to you, mate, is Tillman's a cracking player. No arguments there whatsoever. His contract situation at Leicester makes it far more doable than maybe trying to get other players from Leicester. But I don't think it should be an or situation, mate. I think we need two midfielders. So let's say Jimmy Milner moves on at the end of the season. So we've already lost Gini Wijnaldum, haven't replaced his minutes. Yes, I understand Harvey Elliott was going to get a good chunk of them. So if Milner moves on, I think we still need two midfielders, personally. I would also move on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, in all honesty, full transparency. So for me, a Bissouma / Tielemans, as well as a Jude Bellingham, should be the goal, long term. Would I take James Maddison? No. No, I wouldn't. Stop-start parking the bus should be banned. Craig, have you ever been to Carn Beach down in Wexford? Yes, Michael, I have indeed. Has Diaz completed his medical? This is where I'm going to have to pass the buck a bit, Grizzly Badger. So before I came on stream, the only information I had is that some of the medical was done today and some of it was scheduled to be done tomorrow. Now, some people are saying that the medical's been completed. I can't say. Oh, look, Chris is there for the LFC Transfer Room account. Absolutely go over and check out the guys at LFC Transfer Room, by the way. Despite Chris, going out on the piss when the biggest transfers break and nobody being there to do the job. Chris, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, Tchouaméni. On that, Chris, on Tchouaméni, I mean, I'm happy. Can you give me some more information on Liverpool's interest in Tchouaméni? Because I've seen it, but I have no inside scoop on it. Am I going to the fight? Which fight are we talking about, Glenn? A lot of fights being announced. So yeah, Tyson Fury going to be fighting Dillian White. Looking to be in the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, April time. Purse bid was won yesterday by Frank Warren. Purse bid came in at $41.2 million, which I believe is a world record for a purse bid. Meaning, in theory, Dillian White, I gave information yesterday, but I've got more updated information on it. So Dillian White will receive about $7 million. Tyson Fury will receive about $29 million. And interestingly, with the WBC's ruling, 10% of the purse bid is going to go to the winner. So we knew that there was an argument between 80%, 20%, 70%, 30%. So what the WBC have done is said it's 80-20, but 10% of the overall purse is then also going to go to the winner. So there's $4.1 million on the table for the winner as well, which is not an insignificant amount. Meaning, if Dillian White could pull off that upset, that's what, $11 million potentially, or about $33 million for Fury. The date of the fight is, I think, 27th or 29th of April, if my memory's correct. It's end of April, and AJ looks like it's going to be May. So it looks like the medical's done. I mean, Ella's saying Anfield Watch, Anfield Watch, for those who are on Twitter, know the full story behind the old account never. But as much as they wouldn't be somebody I'd use a lot, Ella, I would say they were fairly reliable. I will go that far. I mean, I don't want to completely run somebody into the ground, so I would say certainly add it to your collection of overall information. Oscar said, any Carvalho updates? So the only thing I have for you is two things that I heard yesterday. One of them was public knowledge completely, in that the Fulham manager who used to manage Everton, what's his name, Marco Silva, has said that he won't leave the club before the end of the season. That doesn't prohibit somebody coming in, buying him and loaning him back to Fulham, by the way, because his contract is up at the end of the season. And secondly, I don't know how true this is or isn't. It's just something I read. Apparently, Porto are interested in Fabio Carvalho because we're going in and nicking, their best player, or what has been said to be the best player in the Portuguese league. Oh, Charlie's the one behind the LFC transfer room account. Well, either way, I mean, still stands. Charlie knows what he's talking about, and the lads at LFC transfer room are certainly got their finger on the pulse. So, do go over, give them a follow on all social media. Let me see if there was more there from Charlie that I missed. Scrolling back. No, just Tchouaméni and Bellingham in the summer. Would you say it's the best source, or who would you say is the best source for Liverpool transfer news? Why, of course, it's our friends at LFC Transfer Room. I wouldn't push you guys towards anybody else. But ultimately, in all honesty, with all transfer stuff, you should look across a broad spectrum of sources, whether it be those European based, those in the UK, some accounts on Twitter. I think just get a whole picture of it and then just try and sift through the bullshit yourself and figure it out. But look, I will say that having gotten to know the guys in the LFT transfer room and having a working relationship with them, they do their work. They do their work and they do it. They spend far more time at it than I'd be able to, and I would stand over. I would stand over what they put out. I really would. But like, football moves quickly. So something that could be happening now in 2 hours' time could be completely different. So you're never going to get anyone that's 100% nailed on, unless it's somebody like James Pearce, maybe, as an example, who doesn't really go... What I love about the James Pearces of this world, the Melissa Reddies, the Paul Joyces, they might not be the ones that break a new story. Like, they won't be the very first ones in. But the reason for that is because they take their time, and when they go with it, they give you the full picture. They'll give you more information than I'll ever be able to give you, because they will have a bit of an inside track. So they might be the first ones, but often the details are there and they're great. So yeah. Charlie said, appreciate it, Craig. Never met a more genuine guy and helps us out loads with the channel. Top bloke. Thank you, mate. Look, it's a community thing, Charlie, isn't it? I think we all rise together, buddy. You know, we all do our bit. We all have our little positives and stuff. And look, the LFC transfer room lads are sound. I have a long relationship with them without even knowing it. So Matt Thielen, who's one of the guys behind the LFC transfer room, I've known Matt since I very, very, very started 10 years ago on Twitter. But didn't know that he was part of LFC transfer room until recently. I've known Charlie, the guy running that account now. Charlie was part of our old podcast group before we even became Anfield Agenda. So yeah, I've loads of time for these guys because they're good people. Price tag of Tchouaméni. Charlie will probably best answer that one in the chat because I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. What is a bit more Tchouaméni rumours above that post? Let me check. RMC, who definitely, as Charlie has said, are reliable French source, have confirmed that Liverpool are in talks with Monaco about a potential deal for Tchouaméni. There you go. There you go. Now, Charlie, on that one, mate, would it be a Tchouaméni and or Bellingham, or a Tchouaméni bye Bellingham? Because I can't let go of this Bellingham thing, mate. I'm absolutely convinced. Well, I'm convinced because I've been told, basically. On Gomez, last thing tonight, I suppose, on Joe Gomez. And look, I'm happy to stay on till 10 o'clock if you guys have more questions for either Charlie there in the chat. Oh, Charlie, both apparently. Oh, this might become an X-rated stream very soon. Yeah, if you guys want me to carry on till 10, I can do. Just let me know in the chat. Anyway, on Joe Gomez, what do we think the course of action is for Joe? Because it seems to be gathering more and more momentum that maybe Joe Gomez could be looking for a move away from Liverpool. Obviously, for a couple of reasons. First team football, more often. and of course getting back into the England squad ahead of the World Cup. For me, I think selling Joe Gomez for the right money wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Again, though, it's not because I don't like Joe Gomez. It's not because I don't rate Joe Gomez. I just think with what we have now with Matip, probably get another couple of years out of Matip. What we have now with Van Dijk and what we have, of course, with Ibrahim Kanate, Gomez seems to be further down the pecking order. So if we could get top dollar for him and then bring in another foot centre back who might take a year or so to get up to speed and allow then Matip to kind of maybe his minutes to decline gradually, I think it will be okay. That's my take on it. What have we got? Watched his 41 goals for Porto, and my lord, this guy likes to shot from outside the 18-yard box. Exciting times ahead for fellow Reds, said no smoke without fire. First thing I said, mate, yesterday to Connor after watching the highlights videos is, dude loves a spectacular goal from outside the box. And one thing I've always said to you guys is that I love somebody who gets the ball and runs at people. I call it the petulance of youth. This dude gets the ball and he runs at people. He will take on players, and his completion rate for dribbles are ridiculously high. He's quality, Diaz. He's still a bit raw, but you would expect that. You would expect that, having had the journey he's had to where he is now. So I think Liverpool will certainly look to get the protein into him. Actually, there was one more thing I wanted to bring up, actually. I forgot to bring this up until I just started talking about it now. So Luis Diaz was so thin as a kid that he was nicknamed Fideo, which is noodle, apparently, by his friends and teammates. So, yeah, noodle. There you go. I mean, my wife calls me noodle, but for an entirely different reason. Would I take Vestergaard? No. No, not after. He's gone to Leicester, mate. At Southampton there was maybe potential, but now he's gone to Leicester, so no. Is the Dybala news legit? I don't know what the Dybala news is, Thomas, so I can't say. When's the next FIFA stream? Tomorrow, Michael. I'm hoping to squeeze it in between the NFL games, in all honesty. So episode 2 is up on YouTube right now. The highlights of my career stream. Episode 2 is up there now. 18 minutes long if you want to give it a watch. Shirt number. Okay, on the shirt number, 23. 23 is what seems to be the consensus amongst the media and the Twitterazzi. So 23. And look, 23 obviously at Liverpool, as we know, is an important number. Carragher had it. Before him, I remember Robbie Fowler having it at one point. I could be wrong here, but did Steve McManaman wear 23 as well at one point in his career? And of course, Emre Can had 23 as well. So yeah, I think 23 is an important number. But will we see, maybe if Milner moves on in the summer, a number 7 changing hands? Craig, I love the FIFA streams. Thank you, Gustav. I mean, they're shy. I'm sorry. I'm getting better. I'm up on the professional level now, and I've had 2 draws on that, so I'm doing all right. I'm trying to, go up with it. Craig, Harvey or Diaz to take Milner 7? Oh yeah, you've got me on that one, Charlie. No, give it to Harvey. Yeah, no, you've got me on that one. Harvey Elliott, number 7. Yep. Shaqiri at 23 as well, Ellie. Yep, spot on. Fowler wore it in. Yep, I have a signed Fowler 23 shirt somewhere. Jen said Craig's FIFA streams are the best. Look, the feedback on them has been grateful. I think people realise that, I'm just getting to grips with FIFA, but it's been fun. It's been a laugh doing them. Don't forget, by the way, please do hit that follow button, or subscribe button, excuse me, if you haven't hit it yet. And don't forget to drop a like on the video as well. I'm not sure how many likes we have on it yet. Let me just check, see where we are. We're up 400 and something, so please do hit the like button if you haven't done so already. I'm going to carry on, as I said, till 10 o'clock, so any questions left, lash them into the live chat. Do I think we signed Tchouaméni in January? No. The plan was to do no business in January. I've said this all along in the window. But Spurs' interest and sincere interest in trying to sign Luis Diaz. I've got more news on Luis Diaz, actually. Somebody in our Discord group shared this last night, and I have it saved on my phone, but I can't get to the or can I? Let me just check. Somebody in our Discord group sent this in last night. I'm just trying to see if I have it here. One sec. Oh yeah. All right, so here we go. Are you ready? This was filmed, and this will make your fucking weekend, by the way, trust me, because it made mine last night when I read it. So this came on the 28th of the 8th, 2021, from Fabrizio Romano's account. Are you ready? Strap yourselves in. Everton are confident to complete the agreement with FC Porto to sign Luis Diaz. Talks progressing on a permanent move. James Rodriguez expected to join Porto if salary agreement will be completed. Luis Diaz wants Everton as priority, now waiting for final agreement. Oh God, yes. How does it feel? How does it feel? Woo! So not only have we absolutely made a mockery out of Spurs, but Everton shit the bed as well. Woo! Oh yes. And then we had the situation where Brighton could have signed them for 3 million quid. And they didn't get it done either. Oh, I love this. Everton are just the gift that keeps on giving. But it's okay though, because Frankie Lampard's coming in there to get sacked in a few months. I don't know. Everton. God bless. Great show as usual. Do you think we'd still get Mo to sign the new contract? Lisburn Reds. Love the Lisburn Reds, by the way. Got to get up there and visit. Yes, I do. I think, look, I can understand, Gabrielle, where people will look at it and be cynical, because we're programmed to be cynical with some of the things FFG have done. But ultimately, I think that this was always going to happen in the summer, and that Liverpool have had to bring it forward because of the Spurs' interest. So I think we'll get the good news on Mo. So I think Mo will sign, and I think obviously we get in Luis Diaz, and we're all happy. What do I think of Lampard at Everton, said Eamon. It's hard to know, isn't it, Eamon? I mean, I don't want to knock Frankie Lampard as a manager because he's a young manager, but from the situation at Everton, you look at it and you think, it's a mess. It's a mess. Mashiri's gone in there. He's gone through managers. The signings have been dog shit. And you wonder, is Frank Lampard experienced enough in the managerial game to really go in and wrestle control of the club? That, I guess, will be answered in time. I do believe Lampard will be a decent manager. I do. I genuinely do. I just don't know if what's going on at Everton right now is too much for somebody like Frank Lampard to come in and sort out that quickly. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for Lampard. I do. As a footballer, as a man, I don't know if that'll work there. Kevin Palmer, the Sunday World, saying Diaz deal done after medical passed. Well, look, as soon as the deal is broken, and by as soon as the deal is broken, I mean as long as it's after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock when I get out of bed, I will be straight on tomorrow, even if it's my day off, to go through it. Thank you, Julian. Love you too, my man. You should sign Diaz on FIFA. Oh, mate, as soon as the transfer window's open, that's the next sign that I'm making on FIFA. 100%. Luis Diaz. Don't care what it takes. We'll be getting him in the door. Leanne Prescott said a transfer is imminent. Excellent. Leanne is another person worth giving a follow to on Twitter. 100%. Who am I supporting in AFCON? I'll tell you who I'm supporting in AFCON. Egypt. Because I read a very good piece on The Athletic. By the way, if you guys don't have an Athletic subscription, give it a try. It's amazing. And if you're in our Discord group and you want to try out The Athletic, let me know, because you get 5 free 1 month passes when you have an Athletic subscription that you can give out to people. So if you're in our Discord group and you want to just try out The Athletic, let me know and I'll send you those 5 free passes to 5 people so you can check it out for a month. But anyway, there's a great article in there that speaks about Mohamed Salah and his situation with Egypt and the national team. So basically, they're the 2 big teams. I think Emelec or so. I don't know the 2 big Egyptian clubs' names. But because Mohamed Salah isn't from either of those 2 Egyptian clubs, apparently it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because he doesn't have one fan base that's always going to have his back behind them. And it's a good thing because he hasn't alienated the other side of Egyptian football. But what got me in the article was that there are no doubts that he is Egypt's greatest ever footballer, but they feel like until he wins an AFCON, he won't go down as perhaps the greatest of all time, because Egypt won 3 back-to-back AFCONs, and players like Mido, I believe, were part of that. Now, interestingly, that same group that won those back-to-back AFCONs didn't qualify for a World Cup, which Mohamed Salah has done with Egypt, and looks like he could be close to doing again. So it was an interesting read to find out that there's still a bit of uncertainty around the love of Mohamed Salah, and that perhaps he gets a little bit more criticism than he should get. So yeah, brilliant article, definitely worth a read. The teams are called Zamalek and El Ali. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. I never would have remembered them off the top of my head. Who's my least favourite Liverpool player ever? El Hadj Diouf, without a shadow of a doubt. Prick. Senegal and Egypt to get to the World Cup. I know one of them is going to be disappointed, mate. I honestly hope that Mo can win the AFCON with Egypt, just because I think he deserves all the adulation that'll come his way. Apparently the medical's done, Shane. Part of it was done today, but now it's starting to come out that apparently all of the medical has been done. Igor Bishan. Well, hang on now, Christopher. At least with Igor Bishan, we can talk about that Juventus game away in Turin in the Champions League where Xavi Alonso was suspended, or was it because his wife was having the baby? Either way, Xavi Alonso wasn't available. And Super Croat Igor Bishan used to be atrocious, stepped up and, excuse me, a bit of a hiccup there. Yeah, he stepped up and helped us get through. So, you know, we'll always have that moment for Super Croat Igor Bishan. I'm good, thank you, Marlon. What is Luis Diaz injury record like? He's missed 5 games in his career, 2 of them because of COVID. Pretty good. Pretty good. Somebody saying a Fulham fan passed away. I mean, you know, that's harsh news to hear, isn't it? R.I.P. as everybody in the chat has said. Live stream and audience, Craig, first the Champions League games. Be a good buzz. Yeah, I want to do a live show. I do want to do a live show. I've said this many times. I want to do a live show in Vicar Street, but will you show up? Will you show up if we do it? That's my big fear, is that we do this live show, and I want to do it for charity, of course. I don't want to make money over it. Do a live show, have a live podcast, have some music, have a comedian. But I'm just so fucking scared that if we do it, nobody will show up, because I don't, as I've said before, believe that we're popular enough. So I'd love to do it, though. It's my dream to do it in Vicar Street in Dublin. Aquilani, yeah. I mean, that was a bit unlucky for Aquilani as well. Will there be a FIFA stream tonight? No FIFA stream tonight, mate. Few people saying they go. I mean, Paddy keeps telling me to do it. Paddy's far more optimistic on this type of thing than I am. You travel all the way from Kerry. Legend, mate. Thank you. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get going while the going's good. I mean, 1,200 people still in the live chat, but I've got to say hello to the family. My daughter has just come back from her friend's 18th, so I need to go and talk to her, give her a hug, and just tell her I love her, because I do. And yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leg it. But tomorrow, if anything happens, any announcements, bet your ass will be here ready to go. Tomorrow's my day off, so I'm not going to be doing any late night live streams. But if anything happens to Luis Diaz, we will absolutely be here and ready to go with a video. FIFA stream will be taking place on Twitch tomorrow night at around 10 o'clock. So make sure you get over to Twitch if you have any interest in that one. Want to say thank you to Spitch again. Don't forget you need to be 18 years or over, a resident of the UK, and have your ID ready. And sign up if you want to have a go at Spitch, which is a fantasy manager game, which will give you a chance to win money from the prize pool of up to 70 grand each week. Link is in the description. Have yourselves a fucking wonderful weekend. Love you all.